50th City Expats Club is a non-profit social organisation and our speakers are volunteers. The club as such assumes no responsibility or liability for the professional reputation of or the quality of services provided by the speaker today.
You should do them. He knows all about them and what they do and what they're here for. So I'll now hand over to Ren. Thank you, Ren.
I feel like I should do a musical introduction like, another opening of another show. If anybody's ever been involved in anything theatrical, it doesn't get any more difficult, challenging, or exciting than putting on an original musical, right? And this is what these guys are doing in Bangkok. It's such an unusual thing. And by the way, out of this, what's going to happen is we're going to look to organise a minibus from, with people, for members who are interested to go up and see this world premiere season of this original musical. So it's quite a story. The stories within stories, because the musical is about people's stories. I got to have dinner with Lynn and Michael last night. We had a pretty cool time. It was great fun. And I got these people have a background in like life coaching and personal development. And so Michael's wife and stuff, she's been doing this a long time. And so they made one of their dreams come true of actually doing a musical based on this whole idea of personal development and stuff. And as far as I know, it's based on people's true stories. Names and details have been changed to protect the guilty. And we've also got 3 wonderfully brave male performers from the show who are going to come and sing some of the songs. So it's and I think it's incredibly that Ben from Ben's Theatre is here. So we've got like a theatrical family. So one week we've got Bangkok Bank, the next week we've got musical theatre, and the next week it's about the orphanage, one of the orphanages here. So it's you never know what you're going to get when you walk through the door. So with no more ado, I'm going to hand over to the opening number, rapturous applause as the curtains pull back to reveal our performers. The story of the musical they're doing in Bangkok, the workshop musical.
Wonderful.
Well, good morning. Thank you for coming on your Sunday morning to be with us for the next 45 minutes. My name is Michael Pomage, and I live in Bangkok.
My name is Lynn Stewart, and I live in Amsterdam and Bangkok.
That's great. All right. So before we get into what we did with this dream, taking a risk, having it financed, we're going to bring up a little dessert with we got the Bangkok Men. We're going to do a couple songs to get you going, and then we'll come back with our information, our slides, and then they'll close with a couple songs. How does that sound? Yeah. All right? All right. Let the show begin.
Just, we're going to do a tech rehearsal here, as you do in musical theatre. Don't put it on top of that, it'll slow it off. As some of you know, we had a very bad result here with this rostrum was designed by some maniac with slippery surfaces designed to have things slip off it. Okay, get it, baby. So this is also maybe
una giornata sole, l'aria serena dopo una tempesta, e l'aria fresca parecchia una festa, che bella costa una giornata sole. venne questa malinconia sotto finestra tua resta via quando fa notte o sole scene
This is the song I Dream a Dream, and we will sing our way. I dream a dream in time gone by, when home was high and life worth living. I dream that love would never die. I dream that God would be forgiving. When I was young and unafraid, when dreams were made and used and wasted, there was no ransom to be paid, no sun and sun, no wine tasted. But the tigers come at night, with their voices soft as thunder, as they tear your hopes apart, as they turn your dream to shame. She's like a summer by my side. She fills my day with endless wonder. She took my childhood in her stride, but she was gone when autumn came.
So are you all students of Stefan?
Yes.
Who remembers when Stefan was here and sang the opera? He's coming back, he's going to sing popera, he's going to sing sections from Les Mis, etc. like that. And I can see, especially with you, I see Stefan singing, right? So thank you guys. Go and sit down for a while. Yeah, take it easy. Well done, bravo. Well done.
Well, isn't music universal? How does everybody feel now? You happy? Are you enjoying music? This is the way to start us. We like to start off a day with some music.
Yes, we do.
So,
Music is the best.
absolutely. Thank you, gentlemen. And these three are in our cast. We're so lucky to have them on our cast for our musical. So this is the type of quality you're going to see. So let's begin.
And they're going to sing to us later, right?
They're going to sing some of our original songs from our musical, and then we'll close with a few others. All right. So you can look forward to more dessert later. All right.
So, Michael, what
Yes.
are we doing today?
Well, we're going to talk about our workshop musical, what it took to put together the musical, where was the genesis, where did it come from? What was the risk of having a dream for 40 years and to invest in it in a country called Thailand? We're Americans, so we know the market in Broadway, but it's very expensive, and all the theaters there are always booked up for the next 3 years. So our next option came to be, why not in a city like Bangkok where you live?
But there was magic in the air, and there was a dream that was about to come true because of Stefan. And what did Stefan do? He did something really magical when he heard our music.
Well, let me get to this next slide here. Right here. This is Dr. Sri Scott. This is a family of three. This is a business that we own all over the world doing executive life coaching, and we train individuals to become life and executive coaches in Amsterdam, San Francisco, Dubai, here in Bangkok and Vietnam. So Cherie started her coaching industry, literally the mother of coaching, in 1974 in San Francisco. And you were part of that.
Well, in 1974, I had what we call a midlife crisis, which was a time to figure out what was next in my life. So I went to San Francisco to visit my sister. And what I saw in her house, she had an apartment, and she had people that were actually coming out of her office shining. They'd come in looking a little bit unclear, a little bit disheveled, uncertain. And after they spent an hour with her, they came out sparkling, like she'd taken Windex or Glass-X and sprayed it all over them. And I said, what are you doing in there? And she said, what I'm doing is asking questions. And I said, can you do that with me? I'm in transition and I want to figure out exactly what I want to be doing with my life. And after an hour with her, I discovered that I was in love with what she was doing, and that was coaching. I loved her questions. It opened little doors inside myself like little advent calendars. And all of a sudden I found myself saying to her, will you teach me how to ask those questions? And she did. So I was the first MMS coach in 1974 to start working behind Dr. Cherie and the organization. So then what happened, Michael?
Well, then I went on a cruise in 1990, and I listened to a woman talk about negaholics, how to overcome your negativity and turn your life around. And I found out that was Cherie down in the theater on the QE2. It was my dream to be on the ship, but I was working with an entertainer, a hypnotist. Hypnotist meets motivational speaker.
Oh, yes.
So I met her, and then she invited me to this workshop, a self-discovery workshop, because I was at a crossroads in my life, just like Lynn.
Just like
And so asking questions and having to go deep, vertically deep to find out the true answers, that's how we discovered our life purpose. So many of you are here. How did you get here? Are you retired? Are you on an adventure? Are you changing life? Did you lose a loved one and you're here solo? I mean, you all have different answers. For us, we're on a journey together, our company, creating something interesting.
Yeah.
So the next stage, what happened?
The next stage is in 1975. I was working with MMS, which was our company, our coaching organization, And Cherie walked in and she said, I have a vision. And I said, what is it? And she said, what I have to do is ask my questions to a room full of people. I said, really? She said, yes. She said, what I'm going to do is gather them together, all the people who I've coached, and invite them to look at all the other things that they're looking at in their lives. They're not just looking at one thing, they're looking at many things, and what they want answers. So I said, you're going to ask them questions they don't know the answers to for a whole weekend? She said, yes, and they're going to find answers. I said, I'm in. I'll join. I want to be on that team. And that's where it started, the internegotiation workshop. And as a result of that workshop, after it was over, we saw people that came with questions. Now, how many people in this room have ever seen The Wizard of Oz? Oh, good, you know about The Wizard of Oz. We know about the lion who needed courage, and the Tin Man who wanted a brain, and what did the Scarecrow want? Can't remember.
No, it was
On the way around?
Tin Man wanted hearts. The Scarecrow wanted a brain.
Okay, so there we go. Let's get that right.
We got it right, but they all came for something, and Dorothy wanted to go home, find home. So 4 of them.
So what happens in this workshop is that people come because they want something. They might be looking for self-esteem, they might be looking for courage, they might be looking for the next chapter of their lives. They might just want to know, let's see what's next. What's next on my path? What's going to make me happy? What's going to bring me joy? And when they come, they're confused, but they have questions. And during the 2 days that they work together, what they do is they find the answers that they're looking for.
So let me just jump ahead a little bit. How many of you are retired consultants? Any consultants in the group? Okay. How many mentors in organization or university? How many advisors? Okay. The rest are just doing things. You're living life. Okay. So we're coaches and we ask questions. That's all we do. It's peer coaching. It's the second largest industry behind IT right now. It's a $2.5 billion industry. Coaching is where the trend is going right now, to empower the client to have the answers inside. So that's what we've done in the last 4 years.
All these years?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And then what happened after I saw the first internegotiation workshop, I looked at my sister and I said, Cherie, this is so magnificent, and the changes that people see is so profound. This has to go to Broadway. One of these years, we're going to take it to Broadway. That was how many years ago, Michael?
That was 3 years ago.
That was 75.
Why? Yes, but then we
And
went to
then
Broadway
3 years
3
ago.
years ago.
So 3 years ago, we started the journey of bringing this show to life. And what happened 3 years ago?
So what happened is there are 11 characters, 11 individuals, actors, and they're diverse. There are seven ladies, 7 women,
7 women?
and 4 men. Afro-American, Asian, Westerners, I mean a different group from all over the world.
Oh.
But here in Bangkok, we're using all Thai individuals, Thai women and men, who can sing and act. So it's changing our design of what we want to do in the US to work here in Thailand, because we believe that as this talent is right here, that's how good all 11 of them are on stage. So we want to support the Thai community theater in Bangkok.
So it's a melange of the 3 different countries. Great Britain is Stefan, as you all know, because you know him from being up here. And then we've got talent that's all from Thailand, and we've got American sources of the information. We are the writers and the lyricists.
So the collaboration of three countries coming together to produce it first time. So we have a dream. We're in Thailand. It's a risk. But then there's financing. You need financing to put this on, right? You just can't put on a show without the financing. And we'll get to the financing in a moment, because that's really interesting how we did that.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see what's next with our, these are the cast members, plus we have our stars, Pete Paul and Ya, and she's on Channel 3 in Bangkok, very popular humorous talent. And Pete Paul is he a millennial? Is he a millennial? Is he in his 30s? Something like that. But he's a very interesting and inspiring singer. And we're trying to bring in the youth also, and we're demographics, all ages are invited to this.
Yeah. So, after the New York piece, we came back and sent our information to Stefan, because we had followed him around while he was doing his work with the Grand Opera. And we'd heard him singing all over Bangkok and felt that he was really magic on stage. And when we met him, we found out that he was also a producer. So he heard our music and he said, I want to produce that show. And we said,
Really?
wow.
What is it? He says, I love these songs. Who wrote them? He thought somebody else was the writer and the lyricist. We said, Cherie and Lynn wrote the songs and we produced all the soundtracks. And he says, would you give me an option to produce it? And so we sat down at the negotiation table and said, what can you bring and what can we bring? And then we started casting it and getting our production together and booked in the theater. So that part was handled.
That happened. It was all of a sudden, everything became about our wonderful, beautiful country of Thailand merging together with the UK and with America, so there we were.
So let's talk about some of the characters. How's that?
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
I
Should we
don't
start with the
What's your favorite? Why don't
Start
you
with
share
that?
that?
All right. So one of the objectives of one of the women in our cast, she's a lady that can't say no. Does anybody in this room have a problem with saying no? I see
Thank
one.
you very much.
I see one, I see two, I see three, I see a couple. Well, it seems that in every workshop that we do, there's somebody who always says yes to things they don't want to do. Do you know people like that? I bet you know a person like that, yes? So what happens is that this woman is an executive, she's a young executive, and she's working very hard at everything, but she has this issue with saying no. So what she does is she searches for her no, and she has a song about it, and she finally figures it out, and she can say no. She does it. Michael, tell us about one of yours.
Well, there's a gentleman by the name of Maurice. He's a 40-year-old Afro-American in Hollywood. He's a producer and director in his own right. But every time he drives up to the Paramount lot in his Mercedes, the security stops him and says, who are you picking up? You can imagine inside how he feels. But he says, this is my car, I am so-and-so, and I'm going to lot number 54. But can you imagine the insult and the feeling that he feels? So Maurice has a song, and we sing it today, called Change the Game. I want to be recognized for who I am. So I don't know about you in your life, but have you ever done something and never been recognized for it? Not that you had to be, but you wanted to be acknowledged for the work you've done, whatever. As a mother, as a father, as a business owner. So this is one that many of us can relate to, Maurice.
Now tell them about Ernie and Rose.
Ernie and Rose, they've been married 30 years. They're at retirement area, time 65, 66 years old. Rose has just been diagnosed with terminal pancreatic cancer. She has 6 months to live. It's a tough story, but Ernie, the husband, thought after 30 years they're going to retire together and live a wonderful life. But he's going to lose his wonderful wife, Rose. So they're at the workshop together, so she can say, I'm okay, Ernie. I want you to, you'll be fine without me. So it's a love story. And one of their songs is One More Moment.
It's one more day.
And one more day, yeah.
One more day.
Because they're singing, I want one more hour, one more moment together. And they're doing a waltz together on stage. And so it's choreographed beautifully. So it's a song for all of us who've been in a relationship for a number of years. And we believe that this workshop, all the 11 individuals, have an objective that one of us in the audience can feel. Or we know somebody within our family that has gone through that issue. So the connection should go pretty vertically deep.
Absolutely. So it's really special to see the different challenges that each person has that handles all the human emotions. Every human emotion that you can imagine will be on that stage, and people will break through to be able to leave having fulfilled their expectations and beyond. Because everybody leaves and go, how did that happen? How did I find so much magic in myself? How was that? Well, that's how it works.
So to put this all together, we needed to find a producer. And we found Stefan, and he agreed to produce the show because he's done his opera for about, I think, 6 or 7 years, very successful. He's got a huge talent base. So we read everything and agreed, and he put together the production team. He interviewed the cast. We were working with him tightly as executive producers. And so we're honored to be with Stefan, and I'm glad some of you know him, his reputation. So from that, we have booked 6 engagements at the Thai Cultural theater, plus 2 matinees, thank you. And that will be in May. We'll put the slide up later.
Yeah.
But what else did Stefan say to you regarding this?
Well, what he does is he's just found that the whole thing was so incredibly interesting, international, culturally fun and exciting to put all those countries together, and of course have a wonderful showcase for his fabulous cast of characters, 3 of whom you've met already this morning. So it's a really original experience of blending musical theater and personal development. It's never been done before. So he's excited with the premiere and something that's having a debut, a first. We all love firsts. How many people love firsts? We love it when it's the first time and love being there. So that's what he's talking about. Let's have this be a magical first and then take it on tour.
So who of you, so anybody in the audience, likes musical theater? Have been to Broadway, have been to the UK? Okay. Well, I'm glad we hit big numbers here. It's
Yeah, big
fantastic.
numbers.
So
How about
having
chorus
said
line?
that, let's
How
go.
about a chorus line, Mike?
Pardon me?
How about a chorus
Who's
line?
been the chorus line? You've seen a chorus line? Yeah. This is very similar to chorus line in its own way with the personal growth and the breakthroughs on stage.
And that everybody has backstory.
But the interesting thing about it, I mean, if you go to, we just got back from New York a couple months ago, and many of the shows are revivals. So they're just taking the old and making it new, which is great. But for us, we're so honored because we have 17 original songs. And some of the phrase, when you hear some of the songs by the gentlemen, they're very catchy. They're wonderful. You might be singing them on the way out, and that's something that is memorable.
Yes, have a little hum along after you leave.
So the front person is Randy. She's the workshop leader. So Dr. Cherie, who created this workshop 40 plus years ago, this is her. It was her workshop, and so it was cast. So Randy is actually Cherie. So all the names have been replaced. And there's the cast behind. So each individual comes in with this objective. And for example, you want to share Lindsay? You already shared Lindsay, right?
I shared the note, but I didn't share the lady who had to scream. Shall I tell them about
Oh yeah,
that?
share that. It's
Okay,
fascinating.
there was a woman who came who was in a transition in her life. And she wasn't clear what to do. She had her 2 kids, they were grown up, and she was saying, I just have to figure out what I want to do. Now I'm going to tell you something really strange. Are you prepared for that? Everybody ready for something strange? She got an inspiration, and she said, what I want to do is I want to make a sound. And we said, what does the sound sound like? She said, I don't know, but it's loud, and I'm not used to making loud noises. I don't make loud noises. I said, all right, then don't do that. She said, but I want to. And she said, all right, I'll do it. What is it? She said, I want to sound like a she-wolf, and I want to go, ow. They said, ow, really? And I said, yes. So she asked everybody in the room, the whole cast, the whole group, to go, ow, and make that sound. So everybody stood up and went, ow. So it was an amazing experience of that sound. And as a result of it, she said, I know what I want to do. As a result of listening to what she was asked to do by her inner self, all of a sudden she said, I want to move to the country. I want to transition to the country. And then she said she wanted to be an expat. She wanted to start to travel around and find a new place to live. So all of a sudden a message clearly came to her, something that she wanted to say about her life, and she found her answer. So what happens is that everybody that comes to this workshop gets an answer to a question. Michael, what happened in yours?
Well, in my workshop, I experienced this workshop 28 years ago. I'd been working for an entertainer, and for about 7 years, this entertainer just didn't let me grow. Just verbally, just put me down. And so I left the industry, not feeling myself. I lost who I was, and I was at a crossroad to find out what I want to do with my life. So I signed up for the internegotiation workshop, and there was a point in this workshop for 2 days that something bubbled up and said, you need to get the anger out, because all these years I've been stuffing anger. So imagine, each of you stuffing your anger, what turns into the anger? You could get ulcers, you could get stomach aches, it's not a great thing for your intestines, etc. So I created something called an anger release. And most of you know a Thai boxing bag for kicking. We had a bag and a bat, and I got to hit the bag about 100 times. Just get out all the language and all the stuff and everything that's been inside me for all these years. And it was a release.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
And I got to put love and self-esteem back inside for all the anger I got out. So it worked for me after 7 years of holding it all in. So that was my release.
Yeah. So each one of these people has a very special story to tell. It's a backstory, just like a a chorus line, and then what they do is they design their process that they need to do to get whatever it is that they're missing. And after they find what they're missing, they find more than they ever dreamed of. So it's finding parts of oneself that is there. And each person has a song, and each person has beautiful movements. So what else, Michael? What else should we tell?
Well, we do have a choreographer from the UK named Damien Rathen. And he will put together various songs. So each individual might sing, but they might dance also. So there is movement, there's singing, there's dialogue, there's love, there's comedy, there's tragedy. So it's a...
And bottom line is fun.
Oh, there's
People are having fun.
Absolutely. And there's transformational things that happen, and you look at it and say, that has happened in my life, or that might happen. You never know.
Yeah.
A lot of people can relate to this.
Absolutely. Well, it's the human condition. It's whatever is going on for each one of us. We actually, when you see everything on stage, you start to go, wow, that looks like my mother, or that looks like my dad, that looks like my aunt, or that looks like me. So it's finding parts of yourself with the actors on stage as well.
Like all of you here in Pattaya, and you're here, you're an expat. You got here, there's some road took you here, some voice inside, something in your gut, and you follow that. So a lot of our participants have a message to attend this workshop because they have a message to get to do something, to act on something, to clean up their vessel inside of them, find their spirit back, find their soul. And we're the ones who produce this incredible workshop for the last 40 years.
So 45 years of this, doing it all over the world, and it's finally on stage. So that's going to happen. That is our dream.
It is our dream. Okay, once again, our musical cast of 11. Okay, these are the dates starting in May 18th and 19th will be our dates. And they're open to, we said schools, but we want to invite schools, individuals, families, companies to perform. So the last day will be June 1st, and then we'll have a couple of daytime matinees. But as Rin said, we will work on group discounts. We would love to have any of you get in the van with it and come on out and spend, it's a 90-minute production, and it's no intermission.
No intermission.
So I'm over 50 years old, so I might have to run to the bathroom. That's me.
I won't tell you how old I am, but you can guess. But I'm with all of you.
And once again, group, this is at the time, this is a little plug about where the theater is and our phone numbers, but I will give Rin the slides on PDF and you can distribute it, if you wish. So once again, it's the first, this music will be one of a kind. We're very excited about putting it out in Bangkok and having the Brits, the Americans, and the Thais come together and produce something very interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. Is there anything else we need them to know, Michael?
No, this is group discounts. We would love to. Are you guys? How's your voice right now? Voice good? You ready to go? You guys want them to do a couple cast songs? Right here. So let's do a couple songs, and we'll come back and close it. And we can do some Q&A, and then we'll close the event. Wonderful. Okay.
Gentlemen, the Thailand gentleman.
I'm going to sing a song called Please Don't Talk.
And which character is this from the show?
He's a lawyer, his name is Nigel, and he's like a British lawyer, and his mother was very proper, very strict, and he cannot express his feelings. So this one is like the message that his mother always say to him, please don't talk.
Don't talk about your feelings, they're not appropriate in here. They're much too much revealing and too uncomfortable to hear. Please don't talk about your feelings, they're too unpleasant to discuss. 'tis far better to be concealing, and don't you ever make a fuss. Feelings are too much, feelings are too deep. Feelings make you touch what's better kept within your sleep, within your sleep. Please don't talk about your feelings, they're much too difficult to bear. Observers will watch you jeering, and that's something we simply couldn't bear. Feelings are too much, feelings are too deep. Feelings make you touch what's better kept within your sleep, within your sleep, within your sleep, within your sleep.
And the next song is Sorry. I'm playing Lee, and he's got fired because he's very shy. He can't go on this stage and presentation everything, and he got fired, so he wants to find his job.
Sorry I let you down. Sorry I made you frown. Sorry I hurt you so. Sorry I didn't know. Sorry I wasn't there. Sorry I was too scared. Sorry I hurt too much. Sorry I wasn't large. Sorry I was too proud. Sorry I was so loud. Sorry I was so tough. Sorry life was so rough. Sorry I wasn't there. Sorry I didn't care. Sorry I wasn't your ideal. Sorry I wasn't real. Can you ever forgive? Give me a chance to live. I need to know that I'm okay. Can you help me find a way? Fight it in your heart to say you love me anyway. Accept me with imperfections. I've had enough rejections. Let me be okay. Help me to start anew. I want to be the kiss you choose and stop feeling the blues. You are important to me. Tell me you agree. You are the core of my being. Knowing this will be free. Sorry I let you down. Sorry I made you frown. Sorry I hurt you so. Sorry I didn't know.
Okay, so my character is
Maurice, as Michael said, he's a director, producer in Hollywood, but everyone thinks he is a driver, an Uber driver, and he want to be somebody, and he will change his game. The song is Change the Game. Change the game. I'm not insane. I'm tired of playing, boring all the same. I want respect, no more effect, no more reject. Time to connect. Look at me, listen to me, reach out to me, let me be me, can't set me free, let me be all that I can be, give me a chance to show I can dance, you play out in hands, pay me in advance. Look at me, listen to me, reach out to me, let me be me, then set me free. See beyond my skin color, hear my voice like no other, feel my passion, not another, know me not my white brother. You gotta look at me, listen to me, reach out to me, let me be me, then set me free. Let me be all that I can be. I may not be supported, for you I am anointed, tell me I'm appointed, just wanna be me, finally set free, gonna be all that I can be, open the door. You'll be impressed more than you guess. Put me to the test. You see that I'm the best. Look at me, listen to me, reach out to me. Oh, let me be me.
I think we should get all 5 of them on for a curtain call and a bow. Come on, Steve. What? Can you take a photo? Are you ready to take a photo, what? Sure. What's not ready for the photo? Here we go. Yeah, you got it ready with you. Big round of applause. While we got you all there, they'll present the plaque and then we'll do Q&A, okay? We'll just present the plaque while you're all there.
Thank you so much for coming. You were delightful. I'm sure you'll have many little vans pulling up in Bangkok to see you. Absolutely marvellous. And thank you on behalf of the club for appearing today. Okay. Oh, the borough is amongst them. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. Now we'll have question and answers. Okay. Thank you, Anne.
Thank you very much. So when they sang the Sorry song, the Sorry song he was saying it to his father because his father had expectations of him. As an Asian family, I want you to be in the family business, but he wanted to be in IT or he wanted to be in entertainment. So he was telling his father, I'm sorry that I didn't listen to you, but I went for my own dreams. So that's part of why Lee came to the workshop. And Maurice, after that workshop and letting out his anger, he became a very high-level top producer director in Hollywood. So the results really happened. I just want to share that with the group to close in the late
Exactly. And the results happen. That's the magic of it, because all of a sudden people design what they need to do to get where you're going, and you watch that process happen, and then they actually do it, and then you find out what happened as a result of it. That's what's exciting to me.
Thank you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the original songs that they have translated from our lyrics and music.
Any questions, please?
Yeah,
And may I remind you, just one at a time. And if you have any more questions, after everybody has exhausted theirs, you can ask a second or third question.
Thank you.
It's not so much a question as a compliment. We had two wonderful groups in the UK. One was G4, which is now disbanded, and the other was El Divo. And I must admit, you three were absolutely fantastic, and I would rate you as good as them, if not better even. And I look forward to seeing that there is a DV or CD on the market with you singing on it as well. I shall pester Stefan. He's actually a personal friend of my wife and I. And we work closely with him as part of the Patio Classical Music team, putting on concerts as well. So, well done.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. And we'll see Stefan tonight at 6 o'clock, and we'll just give you your name when I'm off stage and I can share that with him. Any other questions that we could answer or field for you? Any other thoughts? Yes,
If you now have two questions, go for it.
Well, are you going to have a live band?
It's made for a
Good
microphone.
question. Lenny, yes, we have a 5-piece live band to handle your wedding. And they sound like a 12-piece. How's that?
They're fabulous. Can I give you my mic?
I've got one here.
Sure. Okay.
Wait.
Just a minute, please.
Are all the performances open to the public? Because, like corporate.
Yes, they're all, we just listed that at the beginning in our marketing plan, but they're all open. Absolutely, good question, thank you very much. And may I let you know, the prices go from $1,000, $2,500 to $4,000. And it's a thrust stage, so there's a stage, many of you know what a thrust stage is. It will come out here, so you can have seats around the stage and really be involved.
So it's an intimate setting, and it's very connected.
Yes, so there's not a huge gap, you're in it. Anything else you want to know behind the scenes? Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. A little bit earlier this afternoon, introducing himself was Ben Hansen, who owns Ben's Theatre. I'm trying to twist his arm here. Instead of all of us going to Bangkok to see the show, maybe he's got a wonderful theatre, he's got a wonderful auditorium, he's got great everything that you need. So before today is out, maybe you can get close to him, and maybe I will help twist his arm to put the workshop here in Pattaya.
Well, that's great. Thank you so much. Ben, we'll talk after. But it is serendipity to have you here in the audience. First time here.
Actually, I introduced Stefan to Pattaya.
So you're the one.
And he started to...
Yeah, they want to hear. This is great for everybody to hear.
Well,
Yes, thank you. I didn't know that, you know, I was supposed to introduce myself. So there I go. It's about half an hour. You have some time. 50 years ago, I started in my house, you know, a little cabaret, and it went very well. It became a hit. So now I'm owning, it is still my house, a 45-seat theater with all the stage and black backdrop and so on, and special lights. But what I wanted to say is, you know, I know Stefan very well because he started his what is it, the opera, titled opera, about 9 years or 10 years ago, and I was at the opening, of course. And then I introduced him to my my plays, and he delivered a lot of singers. And then later on, you know, he went his way and I went my way. And that's the story about Ben's theater. And hopefully it never ends, but you know, I'm 81, by the way.
Great. Congratulations.
People in the audience that are interested to know about the financial part of it.
Well, I don't know. You know, the financing, first of all, we looked for sponsors to put this together because we needed several million baht to put it on. You need $3 million in Broadway in New York, $3 million. In Bangkok, it trims down to millions of baht. But we looked at each other, who's going to sponsor us? Singha, True Move, I mean, and they didn't come through yet because we're a first-time hit. We don't have a track record. So we dug a little deeper in our own pockets. We looked at our pension. We said, what can we afford? Can we afford to lose it if it doesn't fly? We believe in the dream for all these years.
It's the dream.
Let's roll the dice and make it happen. So we invested where our dream is. We invested in our own work.
Our own dream.
So that says a lot for us. But we're going for a dream, and we're putting it out there for 6 performances and 2 matinees. And in the end, we're happy that we did it.
And we're already happy we did it. It's really exciting and it's fun
Question,
to hear.
yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
I've always had the interest in people's background. Can I have each singer tell us a little bio about themselves and how they got interested in singing and how long you have been singing?
So we all graduated from College of Music, Mahidol University, and it's like we sing for a long time, 7 years we've been there. And after that we met Stefan, and I studied with him, we all three studied with him, and now we plan to do a band. It's like a boy band, a pop opera band, but we have one more guy, but he's not here today. So that's, I think, and my name is Nat.
My name is Kay.
And my name is Sabe.
Thank you.
We're going to sing about our cast. They're all Thai, but they all sing beautiful opera. But Stefan is working with each one of them, like for 20, 30 hours each, to get the English words out. So everything is pronounced and sang very well. So there's a dedication. We have a voice coach, a singing coach, an acting coach, and a choreographer. So we're really working. If we were in America, in New York, then you don't need a coach for speech. You don't need a singing coach. They're all done. You don't need a dance. They're there at this level. They're at a level, but we just want to make them from good to great.
Are there any more questions, please?
Beautiful. Thank you, guys.